The first pal joining us is Trevor, who's a third-year student majoring in chemistry, and Trevor is joined by Fabiana, who's a third-year student majoring in health sciences. Take it away, y'all.
Appreciate it, Rick. Like he said, my name is Trevor, and it's good to be here with y'all. I'm a third-year student majoring in chemistry, and I'm from Miami, Florida. Today we'll be learning more about all things about healthy routines and recharging after midterms, and that's including sleep, self-care, and time management. By the end of the session, you all will have some great tools and information about healthy routines and recharging after midterms.
Awesome. That's right, Trevor. I'm Fabiana, and I'm a third-year student majoring in health sciences from the beautiful city of Kissimmee, Florida. I don't know about you all, but I am super excited to learn more about all things healthy routines and recharging after midterms. We have some folks here with us that are experts on campus when it comes to this topic. So please allow me to first introduce Kathleen Koviak, a health promotion specialist in the Center for Student Wellbeing, alongside with Reach peer health educators, Jasmine Henderson and Alyssa Guriano. We'll be in the great hands learning more from them.
All right, thank you both. It's great to be here with you all this evening. Again, I'm Kathleen Koviak. I work in the Center for Student Wellbeing, kind of the health education and promotion department here at USF. So we're excited to talk with you this evening about health routines and time management and self-care. So I'll let the students introduce themselves as well.
Hi everyone, my name is Alyssa and I'm a third year student studying cell and molecular biology, and it's also my second year being a peer health educator.
Hi everyone, my name is Jasmine and I'm a senior studying biomedical sciences. It's also my second year as a peer health educator, and I'm super excited to be here with you all because I know midterms have been really stressful lately, and we want to give you those resources you need to end the semester off on a strong note.
Excellent. Well, hopefully this comes at a good time. We know that you're probably still in the midst of midterms or just wrapping them up. So hopefully we can provide you some good tips to help you finish strong, as Jasmine said. So first, just want to talk about, the importance of establishing a healthy routine and how that can help you. So we know that establishing and maintaining these habits in college will contribute to both your academic success as well as your lifelong wellness. So research tells us that wellness enhances your academic success, with students who report a higher well-being also more likely to report higher grades. So if you take care of yourself, then you're more likely to be fully present in your classes and be focused and motivated, which results in those higher grades. So we're going to go through a couple topics more deeply. The first being sleep, so giving some tips on better quality and quantity of sleep, time management, which we can all use, especially being remote, how to best structure our days and our weeks, and then some more tips on taking care of yourself and the importance of doing that, especially with everything going on in the world. So to get started, some tips for better sleep. So we know that sleep is important for so many reasons, and not only our physical health and helping our immune system stay strong and all the systems of our body, but also our mental health. That helps how we achieve in the classroom by help us staying focused and keeping our memory in tip-top shape. So, but we also know at the same time that it's one of the top things that college students indicate that they have trouble with, and that ultimately impacts their academic success. So ideally, you should have a bedtime routine that allows for 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night, which I know sounds like a lot, but we'll give you some time management tips that can hopefully help you prioritize your sleep and make sure you're allowing for that time. By creating a environment that's conducive to sleep, that can also be helpful. So cool, dark, and quiet is the best environment for that. eliminating any distractions near your bed. So avoiding using your phone in your bed, which I know can be super tempting, especially right before bed if you're, scrolling through Instagram or checking your email or things like that. But that can actually stimulate our brain more and prevent us from winding down and relaxing. And to that same point, avoid doing other activities in bed, like watching TV or doing your homework, because again, it gets your brain to associate those more stimulating activities with your bed, as opposed to having that be a place for quiet and rest. If you're a caffeine drinker, like I am, then it's best to avoid that substance and other stimulants before bed into the evening, because caffeine can stay in your body for up to 8 hours or sometimes longer. So even if you don't feel it anymore, it could still prevent you from falling asleep as your stress hormones and alertness are still activated. So just keep that in mind if you're going for that late afternoon coffee, and maybe opt for an herbal tea or just some water or something instead. So a few more tips. In terms of exercise, we're going to talk about the importance of exercise as well, and some tips for that. We know that regular daily activity reduces our stress and helps us to relax. However, it does kind of waken our body up a little bit, and you get your heart rate pumping, feel energized, increase our body temperature. So we want our body temperature to be cool when we try to go to sleep. So if you can fit some activity into your day, aim to do that at least by early evening, so your body has time to cool down before you're ready to sleep. And speaking of temperature, it's best to keep your room in a cooler range, and you can fall asleep faster. And in addition, before you reach for that late night snack, food also raises our body temperature. So try not to eat, especially a big meal, too close to bedtime. So if you are hungry, maybe just have a light snack, some crackers or an apple or something like that. And then supportive devices can also be helpful, especially maybe if you have a roommate who you share a space with and you have different sleep schedules. So things like earplugs and eye masks, a white noise maker, that can help block out those noises and create a space for you that is conducive to the sleep that you need. So then just a few resources that I wanted to make sure you're aware of. One of them is the Wellness Center, which is located in the Marshall Student Center. Unfortunately, it's not open at the moment. It's closed due to COVID, and for your safety and the safety of our staff, we don't feel that it's right to have it open right now. It's a kind of a smaller space. So hopefully, as things progress, we can reevaluate in the spring if it's safe to open it then. But if and when we are able to open in the spring, you can find some sleep packs there, some nap pods, some massage chairs, some things that can assist you in that sleep. So I encourage you to utilize that once we have it up and running again. But in the meantime, some virtual resources that might be helpful to try if you're looking to get more information about your sleep. One is the Sleep Cycle app. Can be helpful in tracking your sleep, and if there's certain activities that you do before bed that help you get a better night's sleep. Another is called Relax Melodies. So if you want to have some background noise, some white noise, it can play some calming nature sounds or things like that that are just kind of helpful to have in the background. And then Headspace is a meditation app. So it can be helpful to do some type of mindfulness or meditation, relaxation exercise before bed as well. So Headspace is one that a lot of people have had success with. All right, so now I'm going to turn it over to Alyssa to talk more about time management.
Okay, so moving on to time management. Since now everything has moved online or with hybrid courses, they might have changed the way that you learn, you study, or even you manage your time. Managing your time can actually impact more than just school. It can impact your sleep schedule, when you eat, when you exercise. So in order to stay on track to finish the semester strong, we have some tips to plan, stay focused, and stay motivated. So just a few time management tips for any online courses. Plan out time to study and learn the material in your daily or weekly schedule. So if your class is synchronous, attend class online during the scheduled time, and then plan when you should study based on the course load. Also, if you have an asynchronous class, plan out times to watch the lectures each week and make sure that you're completing assignments each week on time to stay on track. Also, to balance your commitments, online courses may appear to give you more time in your schedule than you think. So when you're choosing what commitments are important to you, pay attention how much time you need to study or you need to learn the course material to make sure which commitments that are important to you can fit into your schedule. So just a few study tips as well. Make sure that you're staying ahead of all your classes. So you want to take time to complete all your assignments before the due date. So you don't want to wait until like 11:30 when the assignment's due at 11:59 p.m. So you can have plenty of time to complete these assignments. And if you have assignments that are all due at the end of the semester around December, you can still plan out times in your schedule to complete work beforehand. So then when you have finals, you have reduced stress and you don't have a bunch of work piling up. Also, we also have another tip, which is the Pomodoro method, which is helping you stay focused. You can use it by studying for 20 minutes and then you can take a 5-minute break. So if you want to take a whole hour, you can repeat this 4 times. And then after the 4th Pomodoro, then you can take like a 15 to 30-minute break and you can repeat as needed. And this helps you stay on track and stay focused while studying. And another tip is using a planner. So there's a lot of different ways to plan your semester or your assignments. So I have 3 different examples. If you like keeping things track on paper, you can use a physical planner. So they do have different ones like monthly, weekly, daily planners, even semester planners. They do have free planners at the MSC if you want to pick one up. There's also online planners, so you can use apps such as Trello, Google Calendar, and even making an Excel spreadsheet can actually help you plan your assignments online and have everything in the same place. You can also utilize like a short list. So if this is better for you and you don't like using a planner, you could just write down all your assignments and the due dates in a short list and keep it by your desk. So it's kind of like a to-do list for your courses. So each time you complete it, you can cross them off and make sure you're staying on track. One thing that you can do if you don't already have a planner or a planning system by midterms, tip is to check your syllabus for each class and write down every assignment with the due dates up until finals so you make sure that you can finish off the semester strong.
Okay, so now we're going to talk a bit more about self-care. With the switch to online classes and social distancing, many of us have found ourselves needing to adjust our schedules or to create a completely new set of routines. And so making sure that self-care is part of that routine is super important. So self-care, what is it? Self-care includes all of those activities that you do to look after your well-being. And this includes your emotional well-being, among other things. So taking a break when you need to and doing something that you enjoy is really important. And then these activities, they can be anything from playing video games to coloring, if that's what relaxes you. It might be putting on a face mask or going for a jog. Some people even like FaceTiming their friends and their families. So what does self-care look like to you? Our task for you all is to create your own self-care kit. This might be a basket of bath scrubs, face mask, and your favorite candles. It might look like a journal, pens, and a good pair of headphones. Maybe when you want to relax, you like to watch your favorite movies and eat your favorite snacks. Think of what your self-care kit looks like and get to work on creating one. So an important part of practicing self-care is balancing your responsibilities. It's okay to say no. Learning relaxation techniques like deep breathing exercises, yoga, biofeedback, and online tools that teach progressive muscle relaxation can all help you calm down. If you want to practice deep breathing, focus on slow deep breathing from the diaphragm. You can inhale to the count of 4 and exhale from 1 to 8. You can also learn to replace unpleasant thoughts with pleasant and enjoyable memories, visualizations, and fantasies. Self-care involves looking after your well-being, and that includes healthy eating and staying active. You can focus on your fruits and vary your veggies. It doesn't matter if those fruits are frozen, if they're fresh, if they're canned or they're dried. And when it comes to your vegetables, you can eat the rainbow, whether that's eating carrots one day and eating broccoli the other. You should make sure that half of your grains are whole, so look for whole in the list of ingredients. And go lean with your protein. So vary your protein choices with more fish, beans, and nuts. And then choose your beverages wisely. Go for the water over the sugar drinks. As for exercise, it's recommended that adults aim for 150 minutes of moderate intensity exercise every week. And moderate intensity exercises are those that get your heart rate up, but you can still keep a conversation going. So going for a power walk or leisurely swimming can all be examples of moderate intensity exercises. And with classes online, you can learn to sneak exercise into your day. So whether that's doing housework at a fast pace, participating in Campus Rec's virtual fitness classes, or taking a break between classes and going for a walk. We have plenty of resources available to you all to practice self-care. If you want nutrition education, Student Health Services and Dining Services both have registered dietitians. You can also access tips and tools from the Center for Student Wellbeing. Another great resource at USF is the Feedable Food Pantry, which is available for enrolled USF students experiencing food insecurity. You can get supplemental food for students in need, as well as education and resources related to purchasing and preparing balanced food on a budget. The Feedable Food Pantry is in the SVC or Student Services building in the basement. And then some other resources include the various locations on campus for recreation and wellness, including USF Riverfront Park. The Counseling Center has drop-in groups available, including mindfulness meditation. And then there's also success and wellness coaching, where you can get one-on-one support and creating a routine that's perfect for you. And that's all of our content for today. So we're super excited to answer any questions that you might have.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for the presentation. As a student myself, I've learned so much and will definitely implement these into my life. So we have a couple of questions here, and the very first one states, is it bad to pull an all-nighter if I'm just preparing for an exam the next day?
So my tips for pulling all-nighter, actually, it does more harm than good. Often when you're skipping sleep, you're kind of affecting your health and also your studying. So you may want to study all night when you have a test, but if you're not sleeping, your brain doesn't actually have enough time to process that information. So in the morning when you have the test, you might actually not be able to remember. So my tip would be is to plan ahead so you have enough time to study the prior week, or studying the morning of and putting in your sleep, because sleep actually can improve your memory and being able to recall information. So try to avoid all-nighters as much as you can.
Thank you for that. And sometimes looking back at it, I wish I heard that as a freshman. Definitely made that mistake too many times. So the next question is, with classes being online, I keep getting distracted and not getting as much done as I want or anticipate. What tips do you have for staying in task while studying?
Yeah, I think that's a great question, and something that we've been hearing a lot from students, especially with everything being on the computer most of the time. Easy to have a bunch of tabs open and be switching back and forth. But that makes it really hard to actually get stuff done and focus on one thing at a time. So would recommend figuring out what it is that's you're most likely to be distracted by. So whether that's your phone, your email, social media, your family, someone around you. So figure out what is causing those distractions and what are ways that you can avoid or limit them. So that could mean setting some blocks on some websites. There's some extensions that allow you to limit your usage of certain websites or apps. and just putting your phone away, you know, when you're studying and trying to focus. I know Alyssa talked about the Pomodoro method. So if you want to set that timer that can lock your phone for 25 minutes and really focus on that one task at hand, that can be beneficial. And then taking those frequent breaks, so you're less likely to get distracted by just breaking things down into smaller chunks. If any of the other students or if you, Trevor, Fabiana, have your own tips that you use, would be interested to hear those as well.
Yeah, so I would say the best thing that really works for me is just getting away from my phone, because sometimes we just have a tendency to just, you know, instantly just go on social media as in like TikTok or Instagram without even knowing. So I just try to practice that out of sight, out of mind. So if I have a roommate, I'll just say, hey, hold my phone for me, and whatever I do not let me get it again after an hour passed or something like that. Or if I don't have anyone around, I'll just try to hide it, and then sometimes I'll just forget where it is. And at the end of the day, it's really what works for you, but the phone method definitely works for me. I could say that.
Yeah, very similar to Trevor. My first year, I struggled with that. It wasn't until these past few months where I learned that the phone is the biggest distraction, nothing else. So for me, I delete all social media apps off my phone for the week. Instagram, I only have Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook. I rarely go on Facebook, but I delete them Monday through Friday, re-download them on the weekends. And if I even see myself on the weekends getting distracted by it, I will delete it again until the very following week where I'll re-download it. So not having the app on my phone has allowed me to really truly focus on my studies. And I also do the same with even on my computer, like I'll delete YouTube so I don't get distracted. So not having the apps present on my phone has helped. And also by studying in increments, 45 minutes studying, 15-minute break, allows me to be more effective, and I can do that for like 4 to 5 hours at a time. Awesome. So the very next question that we have is, my roommate and I have different schedules. How would you recommend trying to sleep or study when my roommate is trying to do the opposite?
So the very best thing you can do in a situation like this is make sure that you're talking with your roommate. So make sure you have communication open and you're discussing like what type of arrangement works best for you all. So if you have a super important exam the next day, you don't want your roommate to be playing the guitar late into the morning or late into the early night. So having those deadlines and dates in mind. And then also, I know when I was a freshman and sharing a room, my roommate and I both like to study late at night, but I did end up studying a bit later. And the deal that we came up with is that I could stay up late as I wanted studying, as long as I didn't make noise. Like light wasn't an issue. So just like coming up with different boundaries like that. And then, like Kathleen mentioned earlier, you can also use a sleep mask and earplugs. So again, if you're sensitive to sound when you're sleeping, that's something that can help you. If your roommate might make a bit more noise. And then having a sleep mask if light is something you're sensitive to. That's also something that can help you sleep better.
All right, thank you for that. The next question goes to Alyssa, and it is, do you have any advice on how to stay motivated to finish the semester strong?
Okay, so a lot of the advice is kind of personalized, so you can find whatever works for you, but I recommend starting out with a planner, planning out all your assignments, making sure you know exactly when the due dates, when your exams are, and during studying, a lot of times people will recommend breaking it up into sections. So don't study for an entire test one day, study for a chapter each day for a week, so you can actually spread it out and it's not like you're overwhelming yourself all in one day or all in 1 week to study for one thing. Also, you can set up an appointment with success and wellness coaching as well. They can help you plan out your week and how you can best study. Also, the Academic Success Center They have tutoring and they also have tips on how to study. So there's a lot of resources you can look if you want to find the way that you can best study and how you can stay motivated.
Thank you. That was some awesome advice. Also, thank you for putting out the resources that USF offers for students. I'll definitely use them, and I have used them before. The next question is, I tend to get anxious before taking exams. What tips do you have for staying calm and handling test anxiety?
Yeah, so I think the thing with test anxiety, which can be common, and just kind of know if that's something that affects you. So if you find yourself super restless or nervous or irritable, kind of those same symptoms as stress, might be just like super heightened right before you take your exam, like recognize that and figure out something that might help you calm down. So whether that's doing some deep breathing or some meditation exercises, maybe listening to some calming music, if there's like a playlist that really kind of helps you relax or get your heart rate down a little bit while you're taking some deep breaths, that can be really helpful. As well as practicing some positive self-talk. So thinking about more ways that you're gonna succeed in the test, knowing that you studied really hard and you've done everything that you can do to prepare will help get you in that right mindset to succeed and not be so in your head about all the things that you might have missed or things like that. So kind of boosting yourself up. You can power pose or things like that to boost your confidence. And it kind of goes back to making sure that you've prepared really well. So avoiding the cramming and having that study plan in place can be helpful. But if you find that none of that is really working and you're still very anxious and nervous and it's affecting your performance and your mental health, I would definitely suggest reaching out to the counseling center on campus, setting up an appointment to talk with one of their clinicians about what's going on, why you're feeling so nervous and overwhelmed, and they can help delve into that a little bit deeper and maybe come up with some strategies to help you manage that anxiety that you're experiencing to help you succeed moving forward.
All right, thank you for that. I just want to go back to the very first point that you said, where you said to sort of figure out why you're stressing or feeling this type of way, because I feel as if that once you're able to identify the source of the problem, then you can actually confront the problem. So I'll say for me, from my personal experience, my first year here, a lot of problems that I had really came from not preparing for the exam, like lack of preparation, always cramming, and just like Alyssa said, that cramming sort of leads to not you getting quality sleep, which leads to overall just lack of performance. So another reason I would say that it's a common reason for students to feel that type of way, as far as having anxiety for an exam, is that they just want to do well. They're looking at the negative side of things instead of the positives. It's like, dang, if I don't do well on this exam, then my grade's gonna go down. I need an A in this class, and sort of everything in that headspace. So one thing I recommend that Caitlin also said that really helped me out was just positive affirmations. It's like, you know what? Once you actually do prepare, then it's like, okay, bet, I'm ready for this exam. I'm ready for anything that could come my way. And even though you don't feel that way, sort of speaking into existence really helps, I'll say, your mindset going into it and how you're doing during it. The next question goes to Jasmine. I know physical activity is important, but I do not like going to the gym. What other things I could do instead?
So something that I've realized recently, and I'm sure a lot of other people have realized too, is that there are so many free workout videos on YouTube. So that's one of my number one recommendations. There's a lot of workouts that you can do at home too. So at home strength exercises, exercises that you don't need gym equipment to do. And then it can also be something as simple as going for a walk outside, going for a run if you have a bike, riding that. But yeah, like even if you're sticking to your house, there's a lot of physical activity that you can kind of just like sneak into your day.
Yeah, thank you for that answer. Just to, add on top of that, another great way to be physically active is just walking. The campus is beautiful, especially around 5, 6, 7 p.m. Taking a walk around campus is very relaxing. So if you have the time, go on campus, of course, with your mask on, and definitely just walk around. Also, try new sports. A few weeks ago, I played tennis for the first time in 2 years. So it was new for me, but it was really fun. So find new sports, tennis, soccer, baseball. There's a bunch of fields here on campus where you can utilize. It's open to students. So if you can, definitely try new things, take a walk, and that will help you be physically active as well. Awesome. So the next question is, I remember, Alyssa, you did mention something about success and wellness coaching. Someone is asking, how do I meet with someone for success and wellness coaching?
Yeah, so it's pretty easy. So you can look up on the Success and Wellness Coaching website. And right now, the coaches are actually doing it all online. So you can schedule a Teams meeting with them. And I actually personally have met with them before, and they usually go over different planning tips or finding ways that you're committed to things. So I know they focus a lot on what are the biggest things in your life. So you have work, family, friends, all of that. So you can see how much time you put into your schedule or into your daily life. So it definitely helps with kind of understanding your commitments and what's important to you.
All right, thank you. The the next question is, where's the best place to walk around on campus?
So I also want to know your thoughts on this too, students. But when I'm working remotely right now, but when I am working on campus, my office is in the Student Services building. And so usually around lunchtime, one of my coworkers and I will go for lunch meetings and walks and walk around. So we loved this loop that would go back behind the Student Services building. There's that nice pond, and there's some bridges that kind of connect it. So we do a loop around there and then wind around. So definitely would recommend kind of that area. It's really some nice scenery and peaceful, and usually not too many people, I'm sure, especially now, not as many people out walking around. And then another place that I know is the Fit Trail, which is back kind of by the tennis courts, I want to say. And so that's got some nice like trails that just kind of like wind around in different loops and things. So I know some after work, sometimes I would go and jog around there and kind of be in nature. So and I think Riverfront Park has some nice trails and things too. So I would want to check out there if you can for some nice peaceful scenery and walking.
Yeah, those are some great places. Typically when I walk around campus, I like to start at Juniper Poplar. And from there, I typically go, the pathway where you go to the library, to the business buildings, and then I go all the way to the MSC and then back to JP. That's a very long walk, but you're hitting many different places. JP, like right in front of it, they have beautiful flowers. You can literally sit there after you're done walking and just breathe and everything. So that's a great place to start and actually end your walking. When you're walking. So the next question, and this one will be for Jasmine. How do y'all recharge your batteries after stressful things like exams?
All right, so for me personally, after I'm done being stressed out, I like to eat food. Normally, I like to go out with my friends someplace, try out a new restaurant. But obviously, that's been changing recently. So I've been getting into cooking. So after an exam, I like to find like a new recipe online and then try my hand out at it. Like try it out, see what happens, And then it's also a bit of fun too. So like if it doesn't taste the greatest, it's okay. Because it relaxes me, it feels good, and that's really what's most important.
Yeah, definitely for me, for recharging, I would say that like, after like a really stressful exam, for example, biochemistry, let's say I have it on a Friday or something around those lines, then I'll pretty much like take a day to dedicate just to myself, just to have fun, mess around, and just, I would say, enjoy myself. But going back to the walking question, I feel as if a really good place to visit is called the Botanical Garden. That's pretty much just as it is a garden on campus. It's really on the edge of campus, so it may be a little hassle to walk there, but I would say the results or the things you will get from it or the things you will see is really, outweighing the walk. So that's one thing to keep in mind if you also want to go for a walk. Fabiana, do you have something to add?
Yes. So as far as recharging, same thing as Trevor. I take the entire day, 24 hours for myself. And that includes watching Netflix and laying in my bed. I take the time to really take my mind off of school because I am in school 5 days of the week. And I just take the day to relax and recharge and feel better so that the next day I'll be active and ready to study or do my assignments. And I think Alyssa also had something to say as well.
Yeah, so after an exam, I like to do kind of self-care things. So doing like a face mask or like sitting down to read a book that I put away for a few months. Or sometimes just like watching TV, Netflix, just spending some time to myself, kind of just taking a break and putting away those assignments out of my brain and just saying like, this is me time right now and assignments can come tomorrow. So yeah.
And then I do know a lot of students do like to exercise as their form of self-care. So another resource I want to throw out there is USF Riverfront Park. It's open to USF students with a valid student ID, and you can go out kayaking on the water. So not only is it like physical activity, which definitely feels good, but it's relaxing too, just like sitting there, you have tons of great scenery. So I just wanted to throw that out there, just so USF students, if that's what you're into, it's very close to campus.
All right, thank you everybody for your inputs. The next question that I think a lot of students can relate to is, how can you eat healthy on a college budget?
Okay, so this kind of question can be different for every student. So if you don't have a meal plan on campus, making healthy meals can be really difficult. So my tip would be to stick to fruits and vegetables and cooking your own meals. Often, sometimes students go for the easy meals, but they might be more expensive and they might not be as healthy if they're like frozen or microwavable. So if possible, usually you can stick on the outside of grocery stores where like all the fresh fruits, the vegetables, getting some whole milk or kind of grains to make a balanced diet. So trying to look up recipes online, seeing like healthy meals on a budget, just looking that up, there can be a lot of different things that are even easier to cook. So if you don't have like an oven or anything, you can even make healthy meals in a microwave if you just look it up. Also, we have a different resource. So we have a registered dietitian with Student Health Services that if you need any help finding how to make a healthy diet or going and making any other food, you can reach out to them. We also have the Feedable Pantry, which is there for any students that's experiencing food insecurity. They're always there. Make sure that you can stop by, and they do also have resources on how to eat healthy on a budget as well.
Yeah, I just want to just say I lived through what Alyssa said. I was the type of person to, I was always on campus, but I live off campus in an apartment. So I'll go on campus for classes and work. And I was always the type to stop by Panda, get a bowl, and that usually cost between $7 and $10. And then I did that every day. So definitely creating a budget is important because you have to ball on the budget. One thing that I could just say that Alyssa said is true, is really cooking. I really took the time during quarantine to sort of teach myself how to cook and ask my mom for a lot of advice and even FaceTime my mom while I'm cooking, just so that like, you know, you ball on a budget because at the end of the day, Whole Foods is going to be less expensive than actually going out and buying food when you compare the prices at the end of the week. And keep in mind that once you go grocery shopping, is also like, all right, how much are you going to buy for the week or for the month? So comparing that price overall to just spending money every day to, you know, feed yourself for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, how many often you eat, that is just going to outweigh, I'll say, the price of it. So then the next question is, I've heard a lot of great tips and I'm a little overwhelmed where to start. What would you suggest starting to help getting into a healthier routine?
All right, so I can start us off answering this question. So the first tip I would give in figuring out where to start is just thinking about what would be most meaningful for you. So if you think about a goal that you're working towards, what would be a goal that would really mean something to you, and think about kind of your motivation behind that goal. So if your motivation or if your goal is to be more active or to engage in more self-care or to get a better sleep routine, think about like how your life might look different if you were to make that change, and that can kind of help spur some motivation. And just starting small, I think, is also a good thing to keep in mind. So we don't have to make all these changes all at once and totally, upend what we're currently doing. But thinking about those like little tweaks and adjustments that we can make that can kind of build up over time, and you can kind of build that momentum as you go, and small changes can lead to big results. So pick something that's meaningful for you, start small, have some actionable steps related to it, and kind of keep yourself accountable to that. And then I think Fabiana has something to add too, so I'll turn it over to her.
Yes, that was an awesome advice. In addition to what she said about accountability, you can keep yourself accountable, but you can also ask others to keep you accountable. That can be family, friends, classmates. So asking other people to help you out is also an option to kind of get starting on creating a healthier routine. And I would also say one big thing is actually writing down what your goals would be. So you can have a sticky note right by your laptop, and you can have that meaningful goal or meaningful, healthy routine that you want to get into by seeing it every day and, starting to do small changes, as Kathleen said. You'll definitely be able to get into a healthier routine, as soon as possible.
All right, thank you, everybody. Really appreciate all you guys' input. That seemed to be the last question of the night. So do you guys have any final points that you want to add or end the night on?
Yeah, so I think my final point would be is to just think about what the tips that we've gone over, and just remember that it's okay to take that time for yourself. I think it can be easy to be wanting to do all these things for others and to be helpful and things like that, and be super focused on everyone else around you. But remember that it's equally, if not more important, to do those things and take care of yourself. So whatever it is that can provide that for you and bring you that sense of joy and satisfaction, making sure you're making a little bit of time for that every day, and not neglecting yourself as you also try to help others.
I would also add that in order to start making a healthy routine, probably starting with coaching, success and wellness coaching that I added on to, is a great way to start to see what kind of commitments and things that are important to you to start off a healthy routine. And remember to start small. You can't really reach for big goals if you go too far, so be realistic with yourself, and it's okay to start small too.
All right, and then I'll just add on, just as one last note and reminder, just how important sleep is. I know as a college student, that's typically like the first thing that kind of goes to the wayside when I get stressed. But 7 to 9 hours of sleep, you don't really realize how much your body needs it until you have that full night of good sleep quality. So just make sure that as we're like planning our routines, as we're getting our new schedules down, that we're making that time for just like 7 to 9 hours of sleep.
Those were some great questions and some great tips from our hosts for tonight. Hopefully this time was helpful for you all to learn a little bit more about maybe where you can start to, recharge your batteries after midterms wrap up for you, and just instilling some good practices for yourselves to make some healthy routines and some good habits to take care of ourselves right now. Thank you again to our pals, Fabiana and Trevor, and as well to Kathleen, Jasmine, and Alyssa from the Center for Student Wellbeing, for helping us all to learn more about creating those healthy routines and taking care of ourselves. To connect with these great campus partners, you'll see Kathleen's email on your screen right now. That's kmkoviak@usf.edu. So for general questions about the content that's been shared tonight and maybe how you can get started, she'll be a great resource for you all to get in contact with, whether you're with us right now during this live session or watching this as a recording later. To stay connected with us at New Student Connections, you can follow us on Instagram at USF_NSC or email us at newstudent@usf.edu, both of which are currently displayed on your screen as well. In a moment here, you'll see the attendance link shared one final time, so if you haven't yet, please go ahead and give that a click to let us know that you're here with us tonight. We also really hope to see you all at our next How to College virtual chat this upcoming Monday, October 19th at 8 p.m., where we'll be learning more about the counseling centers at the various USF campuses. So in the same vein of how to take care of ourselves, we heard a little bit about success and wellness coaching, and that's a great place to start for maybe some broader diving into seeing where you can recharge your batteries, instill some healthy habits and routines. But if you know very specifically that something that you're hoping to get some help with is specifically related to your mental health, Counseling Center is also going to be a good resource for you as well. So if that fits your current situation or your needs right now, hope to see you at that next How to College chat so you can learn a little bit more about how you can utilize that great resource. For more information about these virtual chats and other great opportunities for all Bulls this fall, please go ahead and download the Go Bulls Guides app, where you'll be able to find the USF Student and Family Guide. That is a great place to start as well for just navigating USF. In there, you'll be able to find a variety of information, resources, and a calendar of events that you can take advantage of to help make your experience at USF a little bit smoother and easier. And if an app on your phone is not your speed, you can also use the URL on the left side of your screen to access that guide in your internet browser. Thanks again for joining us to learn more about How to College, and as always, go Bulls!